Friends, hello, happy new year. I hope you are well and welcome back to small groups. And a special shout out and a welcome if you are new to small group this term. I know of at least 3 people who just this past Sunday made that decision to connect with a small group. And so welcome to your groups. Thank you for making that decision. I hope you have a great time as you connect with your groups each week. Things are a little bit different this term. There won't be Bible study videos coming from me each week. You might be glad to hear you get a break from my voice. And instead, we'll be using 2 different study books as we go through this term. The first will be this one, looking at some of the great prayers of the Bible. And the second one, which we'll come to later in the term, we'll be looking together at the book of James and how we put our faith into action. And so 2 reminders that I wanted to give at the beginning of this term. You won't hear from me every week. First reminder is simply, if you've not already picked up your copy of the first book, the Prayers of the Bible study book, then next time you're at church, please make sure that you grab your copy. There's enough copies for everyone who's part of a small group to have one, so do collect one next time you're at church. If you haven't yet got to church and you haven't yet picked up your copy of the book, don't worry, don't panic. Don't miss the first session of your small group. You won't be disadvantaged if you don't yet have a copy of the book. But you might find that as time goes on, you find it helpful just to read and follow and jot down notes and things like that. So do pick up your copy next time you're in church. And the James book will be available a little bit later in the term as we approach time to move on to that book. And the second reminder is one that I give every now and again, but I want to give it again as we start a new term. And that's just a simple reminder that our small groups are such a vital part of the life of our church. And I know that if you're watching this, chances are it's because you're already part of a small group. And so I'm preaching to the choir. I know that. But it's in small groups where we get to know other people. It's in small groups where we get to be known. It's in small groups where we look after each other, where we encourage each other, pray for each other, where we get to take the Bible and make it practical for our lives. It's where we grow together as followers of Jesus. And I shared on Sunday just that reminder that we get in Hebrews, not to give up meeting together, but to encourage each other. And that line, all the more as we see the day of Christ's return approaching. Every day that passes, meeting together as believers gets more and more important. And so thank you for making a decision to be part of a small group. Keep going, keep connecting with your small group each week. You know, Acts chapter 2 that we read on Sunday gives us that line that all the believers devoted themselves to, amongst other things, we're told they devoted themselves to fellowship and to meeting in homes and to sharing meals together. And that in part is what small groups are about. It's where we commit to fellowship. And there's lots of different groups that meet on different days during the week, and all of those groups are different. Some meet online, some meet in person, some meet daytime, some meet evening, some meet and they're desperate to dig into Bible study. Others are keen to meet up socially when they can. All the groups look different, and that's great. For those groups that meet online, how do we do fellowship well? We don't meet in homes. We don't share meals. And so what does fellowship look like for those groups that meet online? The online groups have been such a blessing, particularly during lockdown, but we kept them online groups because we realised that there's lots of people who, either because of work commitments or family commitments, aren't able to make it out elsewhere for an in-person group, but still want to meet together with other people. And we want to make sure that our online groups, yes, they might be different to gathering in person, but we want to make sure that there's no less fellowship that happens in the groups online. Let me encourage you, fellowship is not logging into Zoom, muting yourself, turning your camera off and leaving it playing somewhere in the background while you do 1, 2, 3 other things. Fellowship happens when we choose to be present. When we choose to be present with others and for others. And so let me encourage you at the start of this term, to prioritise setting aside small group time each week. It doesn't matter that it happens on a screen. Prioritise meeting together with other believers, seeing each other face to face, sharing, discussing, listening, encouraging each other, praying with and for one another. And I promise you that you will get out of your small group what you put into it. Have a great day, and may God bless you.